And workflows like this are great examples of where AI and machine learning can play a really meaningful impact in driving both the efficiency and the effectiveness of our process. So some examples of that is being able to enable AI and large language models to answer some of those simple questions. The reality of it is your suppliers supply many businesses, right, and not just yours. And so even if you do have some portal in place, or frankly, if it is just emails, right, this is one of many relationships that they need to manage on their end. And so even if there is an ability for them to go track down the details of a payment date, it might be easier for them, frankly, to fire off a question and say, hey, when is this going to get paid? Well, why not anticipate that and enable that question to still to be answered or asked just as easily, but have it be able to be answered by AI, because AI works really, really well out of the box with structured data. And you can, with large language models, you can take the ways that normal humans communicate and ask a question like, when is invoice 123 going to get paid, and be able to answer that question really easily and efficiently. One of the other great things about the technology around AI and ML is it can learn, and it can learn from your own behavior and the behavior of your suppliers. And so those answers and the sophistication at which that communication can happen only improves over time. But it's not actually just about those the communication between your suppliers and the intelligence of your platform. There's also really meaningful opportunities for artificial intelligence and for machine learning and data science to support your own workflows internally. From a communication standpoint, one of those strategies is to enable assisted responses, right? So if it does go beyond the complexity of when is this invoice going to get paid, and it's actually asking about the details of a payment, or maybe the details of a deduction, or they're asking why they need to provide an artifact. Again, these can be common questions, but maybe not automatically answered. And in this case, you can have assisted responses. Those assisted responses can, again, learn from a large volume of responses that your team provides to suppliers and draft responses for you. And there's levels of confidence that those responses can provide. So you can enable those to auto answer, or again, just meaningfully improve the efficiency with a pre-drafted answer that you can review, tweak, and then send off to your suppliers. Beyond just communication, there's this opportunity for augmented intelligence and decision science as well. So a good example of that is when a dispute does come through, right? Again, there's a large volume of disputes for the machine learning algorithms to learn off of, and they can actually predict the probability that the dispute is valid, and that something does require repayment. And that level of augmentation not only helps with triage, so that you can get to the most pressing inquiries first, but you can also kind of shortcut the research that's necessary to reconcile that, right? We've seen examples where businesses have suppliers that dispute everything, right? And have a lot of denied repays, right? And so the decision science can actually flag that and say, hey, this is a low probability, and here's why. The history of the supplier is that the repay rates are really, really low, not to mention the fact that this dispute does not include a certain artifact that's required, and so on and so forth. This meaningfully increases the efficiency of the team, and of course also increases the satisfaction of the team, because then folks that are on your shared services team can really focus on the non-tactical, the things that do require human intervention and a bit of research, and it can always be assisted by that throughout the process.